welcome back. And of course, that feature you just watched has set a tune already for this discussion we are about to embark on, talking about eco-friendly environment with reference to tree planting. And this morning we have an environmentalist with us and who also a project lead, Clean Ecosystem Foundation, in person of Comrade Timothy Ogenebu Emorapo. With us this morning, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning,
Right.
Nigerians.
Okay. I'm glad to see you again.
Same here.
Well, we are talking about eco-friendly system environment, and before we go down to issue of tree planting, let's talk about what ecosystem is all about for a layman to have a knowledge and to understand it well.
Yeah, thank you. Before we look into what an eco-friendly environment is, let us look at what ecosystem is first. Yes, you see, ecosystem is the totality of the environment of both the living and non-living. Like the living, the biotic, and the non-living, the abiotic. And you know the most striking thing about it? These two interact. That is the ecosystem. If they're not interacting, there's no ecosystem. For instance, the living things in the environment, humans, plants. Now let's take it to the plant, for example. The plants depend on the abiotic factors of the environment to survive. For instance, no plant, especially these flowery plants, they depend on water for their photosynthesis. They depend on sunlight for their photosynthesis. This help to produce the flowers, the food that you and I eat. So that means if they don't have water, they don't have access to air, they can't produce their own food. We too can have food to eat. And because the plants are, I think they form the base of the food chain. Yes, from the food chain pyramid, you have the producers, which are the plants. You now have the primary consumers, so on and so forth. So if at that bottom level, there's no plant, and the plant could not have access to the abiotic factors like the water, the air, the climate, kineko, before you know it, the plant will be gone. So it is interaction between the plants, as in the living and the non-living, that actually forms the basics for our inquiry into what the ecosystem is all about. So when you talk about clean ecosystem, now, clean ecosystem is trying to make sure, as you are depending on the abiotic factor, you do not overuse it, you do not pollute the air, you do not disturb the existence of this same plants. Because if you do, it will have adverse effect on everybody, even the plant. For instance, let me just go a little further. You see, for this plant itself, because they depend on water, and now the water is contaminated, it will affect their production. Let's assume that climate change over time has affected your weather. Now, the sunlight is no longer that much. The plant then will die off. Now, I'm from Niger Delta. We are blessed with rich environment. We have a lot of water. Now, let's assume that our lifestyle has affected the environment and there's no more water, there's no more good sunlight. Before you know it, everything that affects as in make the environment rich will be affected. You cannot compare those of us in Niger Delta and those in the north. In the north, they have arid region, dry land, little fewer trees, but in the south, there are a lot of water. Because there are a lot of water, they have trees that grows, that blossoms, that produces leaves, that produces fruits, that produces flowers. And there are a lot for the environment from the region of the Niger Delta. So if you are living a life where you affect the environment, you are not ensuring a cleaner ecosystem. And let me deepen the process a little.
Okay.
When we talk about clean ecosystem, we should also bear in mind that the generator you run in your house, your cars that you drive, the big machinery you use in your factory, they all affect the environment. So at that time, you are not polluting the environment. And as you pollute the environment, it affects both the plant. And if it affects your plant, your water bodies, it will also affect the things that depend on the plant and the water bodies for survival. And if they're affected, you and I know that our life will be in danger.
Sure.
So as in ensuring a cleaner ecosystem, I will not say it's novel, but it is important. Not just important, we should take it as personal responsibility. Let's not say it's government and government alone.
No, it has to be an individual. We must
We must
as
be part
well
of it.
be part of it. And now that I have given us the background as to how important our ecosystem is, I want you to deepen it more on the need to preserve our ecosystem.
Thank you. Last week happened to be when my foundation
Wow.
established environmental change agents We want to do it globally, but we need to do it where we need to start where we're from, the Delta State. And one of the reasons why we need to do it is to make sure that we start to inculcate the younger ones into living a lifestyle that is eco-friendly. Now, when you say the need for us to protect the environment, I ask them then, let's assume that I ate beans at home yesterday night. I ate momo, I ate fish, and this morning we are sitting here now as flatulating. You'll be comfortable sitting here because I will have polluted the environment. No matter how strong the fragrance of your perfume is, because I've flatulated, it will dilute it and you will find it so difficult to hear. So if we don't protect our environment, if we pollute it, we have no place to go. We have no place to live. There's no other earth outside the one we're having now. There's no other place outside the one we're having now. So we cannot overemphasize it. We cannot, even if you want to talk for 1,000 years, there will still be need to talk more because we need to own it. We need to own the project because of our lifestyle. Let me say something which may be funny, but it's true. Now, let me tie it to what's happening in Maiduguri right now. Among other things, you will agree with that one of the reasons that accounted for the flooding there is if they had good water drainages, that the water is now running into the deep seas and whatever, the water will not have access to collect in one place. I know they opened the dam as we're told. I agree. But our lifestyles affected it. How? Some of us will block the drainages that were dug for us. Drainages that were meant to collect water from our homes, from the urban places where we are living, into the forest, into the river bodies, have been blocked. So in that process, when the water channels have been blocked and the dam has been opened, what do you expect? It will not collect the water in the place we are living. And of course, we already know the adverse effect. People have died. Homes have been lost. Businesses destroyed. Even the environment itself has been destroyed. Trees, plants, everything has been affected. So we cannot overemphasize it. We need to keep talking about it. We need to own the project. We need to own it. Our lifestyle should be, if we can live a lifestyle that is supporting clean environment, we will not have all these issues.
We will not have, since anything that has to do with our lives, we have to indeed protect and preserve it. Okay, now when we talk about ecosystem, we'll talk about the air, the pollution, the water. Now let's bring it down to the issue of tree planting. We know the environment, like you say, is the only thing we've got, and that is what God has given to us. So we need to preserve it. So the need for tree planting.
Thank you so much. You see, I would not want to say that we are feeling ignorant, but I think because we do not see the adverse effect of the environment on time, we live anyhow life. Let me establish one fact. There's a difference between climate change and weather. For weather, you know immediately because that is a change in temperature. If the place is hot now, you will know it's hot.
Yes.
So you need to open your windows or introduce air conditioner. But for the climate change, you won't know. It will take like 40, 50, 100 years. So you don't know that your actions are affecting the environment. You understand? So now, one of the reasons why trees are very important is the fact that they stand as windbreakers.
Yes.
Yes, for the north, where they have so much wind because there's no much trees. The wind, what do you think they do? One, they also aid erosion. They wear off the topsoil. And in that process, also wear off the organisms that help to make sure that they fix different kind of what's it called? Let me say like oxygen, no, nitrogen rather, yes. We have nitrogen fixers in the soil. We have so many element fixers, yes. Organisms that fixes different kind of element in the soil, so that you and I can survive in that same soil. So if there's no tree and wind come blowing and blows off the stuff, you blow those organisms away. You not displace them, they become invasive species. That's one. Two, you see, the root of those trees, they also help to prevent the same what's called erosion. Yes, because if there are roots, if there are trees here and erosion is coming, some sand, some topsoil will be protected by those tree roots. So if there are no trees around, believe me, the environment will be subjected to danger. You and I cannot stay here because the air will disturb us. Because straight from wherever the air is coming from, it will pull off your roof. It will even take you, throw you away, and your clothes, your houses, everything away. When water comes in, the same thing. So the need to plant trees, I always say, we can't talk about it enough.
No.
We need to keep talking about it because one, they protect the environment for us. Two, you see, they also help to balance our gaseous exchange. For instance, we are breathing in this very room now. If as we are breathing out carbon dioxide, if there's no tree around, plant around to utilize it, you and I know that it will suffocate us and will die off. And when there's too much carbon dioxide in the system, it affects the environment on its own. I think we'll have what they call ozone depletion. Now, ozone layer depletion is also occurs when there are too much excess of carbon dioxide in the system. What does ozone layer does? It protects the earth from the ultraviolet rays from the sun. So if you not live a lifestyle that now help us to break that towel, we call it towel, or that kind of blanket that protects us from the ultraviolet ray, that means you are not exposing ourselves to the direct effect of ultraviolet ray on our lives, and that way it's cancerous. So the need to keep planting trees, it's we cannot talk about it. We need to keep talking about it.
What an education this morning.
Yes.
If I allow you to keep talking and talking about it, I know because I could see the passion to which you are bringing out some of these things we need to know, and it is a reminder to all of us. So quickly before we go, what do you think at what point? Because you say you and I will have to be involved in the matter of our environment. Do you think we can take the advocacy round and where inculcating into the lives of our younger ones to ensure that this our environment, we need to protect it?
Yes. You see, I'm privileged to go to school, and in course of my studies in those days, we were taught developmental psychology. Well, they asked us a question: if you have a child today, a day old, you keep the child in a room, without bring the child out of that room for the next 1 year, the child will not see sun. The child will grow up believing that there's nothing like sun.
Wow.
But if the child goes out and sees sun, so as he's growing up, he will know that there's sun. So if tomorrow he's not seeing sun, you know there's a problem. So the Bible also says, train up a child in the way she grow. So when he's old, he will depart from it. So now the best thing is, of course, we began this in our foundation. When we inculcate the younger ones into living a life that protects the environment, they'll grow up with it.
Yes.
And I told them, when they now grow up with it, you don't even need to tell them when they become governors, when they become ministers, when they become senators, when they become anything, to make sure that first they will live in a lifestyle that's protecting the environment in the first place, preserving it. Now, they now see as in problems coming from the environment. They will solve it even without you going to tell them. And that also means by the time you're now voting money for them to protect the environment, they will know what to do about it. Unlike now, because they don't know what to do, that's the truth. We don't know. Like I said, the reason why we don't know and we feel ignorant is because the environment issue don't come just now. What we are facing today is a summation of our lifestyle of 100 years ago, not today. So because it's a summation of our lifestyle of 100 years ago, we don't know, we didn't take note of it, so we keep living life funny.
Comrade Timothy, I know you have a lot to bring out. Quickly before you we go, your final words because we need to go.
Yes, my final words is
Yes.
first, everybody on earth, whether you're in America, in Nigeria, in Europe, we know we have no other place to go other this earth. So we must protect it. How do we protect it? Our lifestyle first. Our lifestyle first. In Nigeria, you see your neighbor because he has money to buy fuel. We all generate for money tonight. We even they don't need the light. Why they are polluting the environment with noise? But the worst one is the release of the CO2 into the environment. Two, you will see people, they have nowhere to go, but they are driving around. I'm not saying people should not travel or go to places, but make sure there's a reason. Before you take the decision to say you go see your friend, think about the environmental fate you will contribute to the environment while driving your car. Also, before you build your houses, remember that because you have money and because you are a government, you have power, then you have a choice of land that is waterways. Before you block it, remember that it will cause floods tomorrow. So we should try to live a lifestyle where our life on its own, we will ensure the preservation of our environment because we don't have anyone to go to. That's the truth. That's my final word for all of us. Let's own the project. Let's own it.
Let's own it. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, and what an education. We do really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Yes, we have been talking about our environment, and they say enough, a word is enough. Our resource person this morning has told us what to do. The responsibility lies between you and I to ensure we make a frantic effort to keep our environment clean, safe, and sound, habitable for all of us to live in. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we have more for you. Stay with us, please. Good to know you are still there with us on the program Good Morning Abuja, showing only on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. And now we want to talk about road matters, how we can drive carefully so we can arrive to meet our loved ones happily and safely. And this morning we have CRC Silvana Zepayong, who is the unit head of Operations Central Business District of the Federal Road Safety Corps, to talk to us more on how we can drive with care. CRCFA, good to see you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. And you know how we do it usually on the program before we talk about the techniques on how we can drive carefully so we can arrive happily to meet our loved ones. Give us the situation of the road within the week on the review.
The situations within the central business districts is very good. Let me say it's good because we recorded very minimal road traffic crashes.
Okay.
And the traffic congestions also, although when it's the peak period, when rain started falling, people don't go home on time when it's a rain. And when the rain are subsiding, everybody want to go at the same time, and that will cause congestion.
Yes.
And that has been giving us a lot of headache during the week. But we have been trying our best to make sure everybody get to the home safely.
And happily. I want to say kudos to you and your men, what you are doing for us and for humanity and for our roads. Okay.
Thank you.
When we say driving carefully, so we could arrive to meet our loved ones safely and happily. Take us through the techniques.
You see, when you said driving safely and arriving happily, it's a simple thing that people normally neglect. It's very important that you talk about the importance of being cautious and responsible driving.
Okay.
And this emphasizes on the safety of both the passengers and the driver, depending on the careful of how you operate your vehicles. You see, when you talk about safely and driving happily, there are key factors you need to look at it. One, for you to get to, there are key factors that are there. You look at obeying. Number one is obeying road traffic rules and regulations. And these road traffic rules and regulations are not just there; it's there just to prevent or to prevent us involving in road traffic crashes and get to your home safe and sound. Obeying traffic lights, reducing your speed, obeying. There's don't carry overload. These are traffic laws you should not. What can lead to traffic crashes? Distraction driving. When you are distracted, you are inside the vehicle, you are texting at the same time, you are receiving calls, you are eating at the same time, you are drinking at the same time, you are distracted, you are discussing at the same time. That can lead to traffic crashes. So we tell people don't do that. We can also talk about maintaining of the vehicle.
Yes.
The vehicle maintenance.
Yes.
If the vehicle is not good,
Okay.
how do you enter the road? That means you are praying for accident to happen.
Prays for
You
accident
don't pray for it to happen. Your brake are not good, or you don't have brake pads are not there. There is no brake fluid. And what do, you go and say, okay, because times are hard, the economy is biting, and you go and get Omo for your house and you have water. You go and mix it and put in the brake fluid. How do you think you are planning for crash to happen? So your braking system must be good. You maintain your vehicle. Your tire must be working well. You have service. Your vehicle must be in a good working condition before you move. That will prevent a road traffic crash. And when you drive, you get home happily. We also talk about being patient.
Patient on the road.
Being patient on the road.
Important.
And concentrating. When the road is not a range for people to go and start competing. And you have to be patient. Yes, you have to be patient and allow others have the right of way. You are not the only person that have the right of way. Last time we came here, we talked about people that have the right of way. We talk about pedestrians.
Yeah.
You talk about cyclists. You talk about animals. You talk about people with disabilities. Now, when you are driving, you are not patient. You see animal crossing, you are shouting. You want to go and hit them. No, you allow them to have the right of way also. When you get to a pedestrian crossing, you allow the pedestrian. You be patient. Wait. Allow them to have the right of way. You to have the same right of way like them so that they move. And we also talk about defensive driving. You have to be defensive while driving. Now, what are you talking about defensive driving? It all depends on we want you to be safe and get to your destination safe and sound and happy with your family. Now, when you are driving, you don't make the road to be a competitive range for you to compete. Somebody is trying to overtake you. You said, this one will not overtake me. Why must he rush? Why is he rushing? You are blocking him not to overtake you. No, please be patient, allow the person to go. And also watch the vehicle in your front. You believe when you are driving a vehicle, you are not the only person inside the vehicle. You are driving the one in your front. You are driving the vehicle behind you. You are driving the vehicle by your side. That means you must have make use of your senses. You have to make use of your side mirror. You have to make use of your inner mirror. You have to be focused while driving. So that if the person in the front is automatically match a brake, you can have maneuver your way and way. That is what we call defensive driving. You apprehend, okay, something might have happened. Supposing I'm driving, there's some obstruction, I have to reduce my speed. So you go with the common sense speed limit that you can control. When we talk about common sense speed limit, we talk about a speed that you can control at the same time. You don't mean because there is a specified speed on the specific road or vehicles you want to follow at the same, because they said go at 90 kilometers per hour on the highway and you want to go because the road is there. And when the crash happened or something suddenly crossed the way and you try to put leg on your brake pedal, it doesn't agree to you, what happened? You maneuver your way and find a way and we crash. So you reduce your speed so that if in case anything happens, you'll be able to control that speed and get to your home safe and happily with your family.
Wow, you have enumerated a lot of points and what we need to put into cognizance and consideration when we talk about driving safely so we can arrive at anywhere we are going to happily and safely. You made mention about the present state of economy. And from what we are saying now, it has become, let me say, a normal practice to be taking two people in front. I know it's more work for you. Because when you talk to this driver, they'll tell you, do you know how much I buy a liter of fuel? But we are talking about our safety. We really, really need you to respond to that.
You see, it's not there, we don't take it as a norm. Carrying overload is an offense and is not acceptable anywhere. One, when you look at the don't look at the economy. If you are thinking about the economy is biting, let me carry overload. You know how much I buy a fuel per liter. And when you are carrying the load that is above the vehicle, you consume more fuel than when you are carrying normal. So the economy you are talking about, you are even increasing your own problems by carrying the load that is above the specified load of the vehicle. Because when you carry a vehicle that's supposed to carry 3, you went and carry 6. And that means you're overloading the vehicle. The vehicle must increase the force to be able to meet up. And when you increase the force, it consumes more fuel. So you cannot equate the economy of buying a per liter in how much, and because you want to make more money and you spend more in fueling that vehicle. Apart from spending more in fueling that vehicle, you are also planning for a crash to happen. Now you are supposed to be only you as a driver. This is a seat for me, only me and me alone, so that I can be able to be comfortable and drive and concentrate. And at the same time, I want to pass somebody with me here, and I'll be anking, driving. Am I comfortable? I'm not comfortable. And at that moment, if anything happens, I'll not be able to have control of that vehicle, and that will lead to crash.
Another point I want you to really point out to us this morning is about, I know you talked about distracted driving. You see that when a driver is driving and they raise a salient point in the vehicle with other passengers, you see everybody will be talking and making noise and distracting even the driver, and the driver is even,
Contributing.
contributing.
In short, this happened to me one day. We're just going, we're traveling, and when we were moving, everybody was discussing the vehicle. The driver was discussing where the driver was supposed to branch. He has already discussed, and his mind is not there. He has passed. What do we need to say? He has to reverse. I said, you can't reverse. This is an express. You have to go and turn. You have to go and turn and go back to where you are supposed to enter. And it takes us like 1 kilometer before you can see a U-turn and you come back. That's why we said, when you are inside the vehicle, please allow the driver to concentrate. Stop discussing and distracting the driver, because distractions One, will not allow the driver to concentrate.
The consequence of not.
Two, maybe a driver that is being distracted by passengers, as some of them are telling passengers, do this, do this. Some drivers can be very careful. They want to go with a normal speed because I'm a passenger and I want to get to my destination in a haste. I'm putting on my driver, please increase the speed of this vehicle.
Are we strolling?
Are we strolling on the vehicle? Do you want us to sleep here? Don't you know where we are going is far? And the driver would have said, please allow me. And you don't know that at that moment, your life, apart from God, your life depends on that driver at that moment.
This is the only life.
This is the only life you have. If this driver overspeed the vehicle and he crash, some driver can decide to say, you are in the front and they say a trailer is coming and there's nothing you can do. You want to return your side to the trailer. And the driver might be safe and you might be gone. So why do you distract the driver? Allow the driver to concentrate because at that moment, apart from God, their life depends on the driver who is controlling the vehicle. That's why we said allow the driver to concentrate so that they can drive safely and you'll be happy.
So quickly before we go, safety tips and your final word.
You always tell people that safety is everybody's business. It's not road safety alone because safety is road safety. No, it is your business. It is my business. So please be safe while you are driving. Obey all the traffic rules and regulations. Don't beat traffic lights because we have most of the crashes. These days, people are always in a haste to go. The light is giving you amber. You don't want to be patient because the light has given you see the light is counting one. You want to speed and make before you get there, the light has given another person right of way and you want to put ahead and you crash. So please obey the traffic rules and regulations. Make sure your vehicle are safe and make sure your vehicle are good in good conditions. If it's not good, please visit a nearby mechanics to make sure he fix it properly. Now you work on your brake, make sure your brakes are good. Talk of your tire should be better. Now rain is here, please make sure your wiper blades are all working well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time with us this morning. We appreciate your word of advice you've given to us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. They say a word is always enough. That advice he has given to all of us this morning, please let's ensure we adhere to it. Do not beat the traffic light. Do not be absent-minded. Be conscious and be patient on the road so you can drive carefully and arrive at anywhere you're going to happily and safely. We've been talking to CRC Silvanus Epeyong, who is the unit head of operations, Central Business District of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Now we are going on this short break. When we come back, we have more for you. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us, please.